The massive alien vessel appeared without warning in Earth's orbit one autumn morning. Admiral Kim of the International Space Defense Coalition was the first high-ranking official to witness the holographic projection that materialized simultaneously in every major government headquarters across the globe. "People of Earth," announced the towering, six-limbed being who identified himself as High Counselor Mox of the Galactic Council. "Your civilization has been deemed sufficiently advanced to be recognized." Admiral Kim stood frozen, her hand gripping the edge of the command console. Beside her, technicians worked frantically to record and analyze the transmission. The alien's body glowed with an internal light that pulsed in rhythm with its speech. "The Council, representing over 300 species, welcomes you to the galactic community," Mox continued, his voice resonating with an unnatural depth. President Han was quickly escorted into the command center, his normally composed face pale with shock. "What do they want?" he whispered to Admiral Kim. As if in answer, the alien's next words erased any welcome they might have felt. "As is customary for all new species, Earth must pay tribute. 30% of all natural resources annually. You have 30 standard days to comply or face extinction." The transmission ended, leaving humanity in stunned silence. Within hours, the United Nations convened an emergency session. Leaders from every nation gathered, many still in nightclothes or casual attire, having been rushed from their homes. "We have confirmed similar messages were received across the globe," said Secretary General Sun, her voice steady despite the circumstances. "The alien vessel remains in high orbit, just beyond our reach." Dr. G, chief scientist of the Global Space Initiative, stepped forward. "Our scans show technology far beyond our understanding. The ship's energy readings are off the charts." "Can we fight them?" asked the Russian president. Admiral Kim shook her head. "Not with our current weapons. It would be like throwing stones at a tank." "Then we negotiate," suggested President Han. "Buy time while we assess our options." A smaller craft detached from the main vessel the next day, descending through Earth's atmosphere to land in international waters. It sent out a signal requesting the presence of Earth's leaders. 5 days after first contact, a delegation led by President Han and Admiral Kim approached the alien craft. A protective dome had formed around it, shimmering like oil on water. As they neared, a section of the dome vanished, revealing an opening. Inside, the environment shifted to accommodate human biology. The air became breathable, the gravity adjusted to Earth normal. High Counselor Mox waited inside, flanked by 2 smaller aliens of different species. In person, Mox stood 3 meters tall, his skin a shifting pattern of blues and greens. 6 arms extended from a central torso, and 3 pairs of eyes studied the human delegation with evident curiosity. "You are the first species in 5,000 years to request a face-to-face meeting before submitting tribute," Mox said, his mouth not moving as the words formed in the humans' minds directly. "We wish to understand the nature of this tribute," President Han said, fighting to keep his voice steady, "and the benefits Earth would receive in return." Mox's upper eyes blinked in sequence. "Benefits? Your benefit is continued existence. The Council does not destroy species that comply." Admiral Kim stepped forward. "And if we cannot meet your demands, 30% would devastate our ecosystems. Then you will join the 27 species who failed to provide adequate tribute," replied Mox. "Their worlds now serve as resource planets, their populations reduced to efficient levels." The message was clear: submit or be conquered. As the human delegation departed, Admiral Kim whispered to President Han, "Did you notice? The smaller aliens never spoke. They seemed almost afraid." "I noticed," President Han replied quietly, "and I think we need to learn why." Back on Earth, as panic spread among the population, a small team gathered in a secret facility beneath Seoul. Dr. Bay, Earth's foremost quantum physicist, studied the data collected from the alien craft. "There's something strange about their communication technology," she muttered, eyes fixed on scrolling equations. "It's almost as if they're hiding something from their own people." "We can't just hand over our planet's resources," Dr. Bay said, slamming her fist on the conference table. The assembled world leaders jumped at the unexpected sound. 7 days had passed since first contact. The secret facility beneath Sol buzzed with activity as Earth's brightest minds worked tirelessly to find a solution. Dr. Bay's team had been analyzing the alien probe nonstop. Their demands would destroy our economy and environment, President Han said. But their technology is centuries beyond ours. Admiral Kim displayed the latest satellite images on the main screen. The alien fleet has grown. We count 17 vessels now, positioned throughout our solar system. General Yu, head of the Global Defense Force, shook his head. Our most advanced weapons would be useless against them. It would be like fighting tanks with sticks. Maybe. We don't need to fight them directly, Dr. Bay said, her eyes brightening with sudden inspiration. I found something interesting in their communication system. She pulled up complex diagrams on her tablet. They're using quantum entanglement for instant communication across vast distances. But there's a pattern to it, a vulnerability. Explain? It's simply, Doctor, President Han requested. It's like they have a private phone line between their leaders, but the regular aliens don't have access to it, Dr. Bay said. I think the council leadership is hiding information from their own people. Admiral Kim leaned forward. Can we tap into this private line? Maybe, Dr. Bay replied. Give me 2 weeks. Meanwhile, panic spread across Earth. Some people built bunkers. Others formed religious groups claiming the aliens were gods. Many simply went about their normal lives, unable to process the reality of the situation. In the streets of cities worldwide, protesters demanded transparency from their governments. Tell us the truth, they chanted outside government buildings. President Han addressed the world on day 10. We are exploring all options. I ask for your patience and unity in this unprecedented time. Behind the scenes, Dr. Bay and her international team worked around the clock on what they called Project Prometheus. The name came from the ancient Greek myth of the Titan who stole fire from the gods and gave it to humans. If we can intercept and understand their private communications, Dr. Bay explained to President Han during a late-night briefing, we might find a weakness, or at least understand their true intentions. On day 15, a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Min, a young linguist who had been studying the alien language patterns, burst into the main conference room. Their language contains subtext, she exclaimed, waving printouts of sound patterns. When the council representative speaks, there are hidden frequencies carrying additional messages. Messages meant only for certain species. What kind of messages? Admiral Kim asked. Threats, mostly, Dr. Min said, and references to something called the Truth Eaters. I think they're using fear to control member species. This discovery energized the team. By day 20, they had developed a prototype system that could potentially intercept and decode the council's private communications. It's not perfect, Dr. Bay warned, and we don't know how they'll react if they detect our intrusion. On day 25, world leaders gathered again to make a final decision. The council had sent a second message, reminding Earth that the deadline was approaching. We have 3 options, President Han said. Submit and lose a third of our resources. Fight and almost certainly lose, or try Dr. Bay's plan. The vote was unanimous. Earth would not submit. A small team led by Dr. Bay installed the Prometheus device on a satellite positioned between Earth and the main council vessel. They worked in spacesuits, racing against time as the countdown to the deadline continued. Device activated, Dr. Bay reported as they returned to Earth. Now we wait. On the 29th day, Earth transmitted its official response through the alien probe. The message was carefully crafted to buy time without revealing Earth's true intentions. The Galactic Council receives your message, replied High Counselor Mox, his holographic form towering over President Han and Admiral Kim in the command center. You request an extension to gather resources? Yes, President Han replied, keeping his face neutral. Our planetary systems are complex. We need time to organize the tribute efficiently. Mox's 3 pairs of eyes blinked in sequence. Unusual, but acceptable. You have 20 additional days. After the transmission ended, Admiral Kim turned to President Han. "Do you think he believed us?" "I don't know," the president replied. "But we've bought Dr. Bay the time she needs." In the underground facility, Dr. Bay's team monitored data streaming from the Prometheus device. The satellite was intercepting quantum communications between Council ships. "They're suspicious," Dr. Min reported, translating the alien communications. "But they've never encountered a species that didn't immediately submit or fight. They don't know what to make of us." Dr. Bay nodded. "That works in our favor. What else are they saying?" Dr. Min's eyes widened as she read the incoming data. "There's something called the Great Deception. They keep referring to it in their private communications. Meanwhile, Earth prepared. Not for war, humanity couldn't win that way, but for a different kind of resistance." On day 35, satellite imagery showed 5 more alien vessels entering the solar system. The Council was growing impatient. "They're positioning ships to surround Earth completely," General Yu reported. "If they attack, we won't stand a chance." President Han called an emergency meeting of world leaders. "Dr. Bay, what have you learned?" Dr. Bay displayed a complex diagram on the main screen. "The Council leadership is lying to its member species. The private communications reveal that most alien civilizations are forced to join the Council through threats and misinformation." "Can we use this?" asked President Han. "Yes," Dr. Bay replied. "Project Prometheus isn't just a listening device, it can also broadcast. We can send messages directly to every species in the Council, bypassing their leadership." "What would we say?" Admiral Kim asked. "The truth," Dr. Bay said simply. "Whatever they're hiding, we expose it." The plan was risky. There was no guarantee the alien species would believe Earth or act on the information, but it was the only option left. On day 40, the Council sent another message. "Your extended deadline approaches," Mox announced. "Is Earth prepared to deliver the required tribute?" President Han stood tall before the holographic alien. The eyes of the world were on him. He took a deep breath and delivered Earth's true answer. "No," he said clearly. "Earth refuses to pay tribute." The hologram of Mox froze momentarily, as if the alien couldn't process what he'd heard. "This is unprecedented," he finally responded, genuine surprise in his alien features. "No species has ever refused." "We are not like other species," President Han replied. "Humanity will not be threatened or bullied." Mox's form shifted colors, pulsing with angry red tones. "Then you have chosen extinction. The Council's judgment will be swift." As the transmission ended, Admiral Kim turned to Dr. Bay. "How long until they attack?" "Hours, maybe less," Dr. Bay replied. "It's time to activate the full capabilities of Project Prometheus." Around Earth, people gathered in homes and public spaces, watching the news with growing fear. They didn't know about Project Prometheus or the plan to reach out to other species directly. They only knew their leaders had said no to the most powerful force in the galaxy. As the alien armada moved into attack formation around Earth, Dr. Bay activated Project Prometheus from the underground command center. Her hands trembled slightly as she entered the final sequence. "Broadcasting now," she announced to the tense room full of world leaders and military officials. The message is being sent directly to every species in the Council fleet. Project Prometheus wasn't a weapon. It was a revolutionary communication system that bypassed the Council leadership entirely. Dr. Bay had discovered that the quantum entanglement network could be reconfigured to reach all ships simultaneously. "To all species of the Galactic Council," began the message, transmitted in the universal language the aliens used. "Humanity has discovered something your leaders have hidden from you." On the main screen, they watched as the neat formation of the alien fleet began to waver. Some ships stopped moving. Others changed course. "It's working," whispered Admiral Kim. "They're receiving our message." The message contained data Earth had gathered over the past 40 days. It showed proof that the Council leadership had been hoarding knowledge and resources from member species for millennia. The tribute they demanded wasn't used for the common good, but to maintain the power of a small elite. Most shocking was the human discovery that had frightened the Council leadership most. evidence that consciousness existed beyond physical death. Dr. Min had found references to this in the intercepted communications. The Council called it the Great Deception, their most carefully guarded secret. They fear this knowledge would destabilize their control, Dr. Bay explained to the assembled leaders. Many species joined the Council out of fear of death. If they knew there was something beyond. On the observation deck, General Yu watched through powerful telescopes as lights flickered across the alien vessels. Something's happening up there. Within hours, the neat formation of the alien fleet fractured completely as ships from different species broke ranks. Some moved closer to Earth in a protective formation. Others surrounded the main Council vessel. "We're receiving a transmission," reported a communications officer, but not from the Council leadership. The holographic projector activated, but instead of High Counselor Mox, it showed a different alien. This one had 4 arms and golden skin that shimmered like metal. "People of Earth," the alien said, its voice gentle, "I am Captain Oro of the Lumen species. What you have revealed, it changes everything." President Han stepped forward. "Then the data we sent is accurate?" "Yes," Captain Oro replied. "For 10,000 years, the Council has controlled our species. Through fear and deception. They convinced us that without their protection we would face cosmic horrors beyond imagination." More transmissions followed from other ships. Captains and leaders from dozens of species, all confirming the same story. The Council had built an empire on lies, forcing tribute that was used to enrich the leadership while keeping member species in ignorance. "But how did humans discover the truth about consciousness?" asked Captain Oro. "Our most advanced scientists have searched for millennia." Dr. Bay exchanged glances with Dr. Min. "We didn't set out to find it," Dr. Bay explained. "Our quantum research accidentally discovered patterns that exist beyond physical matter, patterns that match what many human cultures have described as the soul." On the tactical displays, Admiral Kim noticed several Council leadership vessels, moving aggressively toward Earth. "They're attempting to attack," she warned. "All ships," Captain Oro broadcast to the fleet. "Protect Earth. The humans have given us the truth. We must preserve it." 3 months after the dramatic standoff, representatives from 57 alien civilizations gathered in a newly constructed meeting hall in Seoul. The massive dome, built with a blend of Earth and alien technology, shimmered with a faint blue. Light as diplomats of all shapes and sizes found their seats. Admiral Kim stood at the entrance, greeting each delegation. Some aliens towered over her while others barely reached her knees. All came with the same purpose, to forge a new path forward. "I never imagined I would live to see this day," she said to Dr. Bay, who stood beside her wearing a formal blue dress instead of her usual lab coat. "None of us did," Dr. Bay replied, watching as a delegation of crystalline beings floated past. 3 months ago, we were facing extinction. Inside the Great Hall, President Han took his place at the circular table. There were no designated seats of honor. All species sat as equals. This was the founding principle of what they now called the Galactic Alliance. "The Council leadership has been contained," reported Captain Oro of the Lumen. "Their ships are under guard, and the truth has spread to all 300 member species." "And the reaction?" asked President Han. "Shock, anger, relief," said Oro. "Many species are still processing what this means for them. For millennia, the Council told us that without their protection, cosmic horrors would destroy us all. A lie. To keep you dependent," Admiral Kim said. "Yes," agreed Oro. "But the greatest lie was hiding the truth about consciousness." Dr. Bay stepped forward. Since the revelation, she had been working with scientists from dozens of species, sharing Earth's accidental discovery. "We've confirmed it across 17 different biological systems now," she said. "Consciousness exists beyond physical death. The patterns continue, transformed but intact." A tall, thin alien with skin like polished copper stood. "For 10,000 years, my people served the Council out of fear of final death. If we had known," President Han raised his hand, "we cannot change the past, but we can build a different future." The Assembly spent 5 days crafting the Charter of the Galactic Alliance. Unlike the Council, which demanded tribute and obedience, the Alliance would be founded on principles of knowledge sharing and mutual respect. On the final day, former High Counselor Mox was brought before the Assembly. His once imposing figure now seemed smaller, his skin dull and pale. "You understand you will face justice for your crimes," President Han told him, "for the deception of countless civilizations and the extinction of those who refuse to comply." Mox's 3 pairs of eyes blinked slowly. "You do not understand what you have done. There are forces beyond your comprehension that—" "More lies," interrupted Captain Oro. "Your power depended on fear. That ends today." As Mox was led away, Dr. Min approached Dr. Bay. "Do you think he was telling the truth? Could there be something else out there?" Dr. Bay smiled. "Perhaps, but whatever comes, we'll face it together, not through deception and fear." 1 year later, the first joint scientific mission of the Galactic Alliance departed Earth orbit. The massive ship, built with technology from 30 different species, carried scientists from Earth and across the galaxy. Their mission: to explore and share knowledge freely. On the observation deck, Dr. Bay watched Earth grow smaller as the ship accelerated to speeds humans had only dreamed of before. "Admiral Kim wanted me to give you this," said President Han, joining her by the window. He handed her a small box containing a medal. "For changing the course of galactic history," he explained. Dr. Bay smiled. "We all did. By giving the simplest, most terrifying answer possible." "No," they said together, and laughed as the stars streaked past.